It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the two films of April 26, 2002. Not a lot to get to here, so let's go ahead and jump to it. But we're starting off on a very positive note, and if you want a definition of a so bad it's good movie, boy, do we have the movie here for you, starting this week off. It's the 10th installment of the Friday the 13th series, only this time there's no Friday the 13th, it's only Jason X. Now, I don't know if this is actually true or not, but I've heard some rumors that Jason X was basically called Jason X because New Line didn't want them to use the Friday the 13th title on there anymore, because I guess they thought the Friday the 13th name wasn't that much of a brand recognition anymore. I mean, I don't know if this is actually true or not. Don't quote me on that, but I've heard that from some sources that was why this wasn't just called Friday the 13th. But Jason X, Jason is chronologically frozen for over 400 years and awakes in 2455. And he's found by a group of students who he subsequently stalks and kills one by one. But we can't just do this in Crystal Lake anymore. No. We gotta go all the way up to space. If the Leprechaun could do it, so could Jason X. But, yeah, this is a very fun movie, and it's fun for all the reasons that you think it is. That trailer is the perfect sum up of what makes this movie so special. It's because they are completely in on the joke. Even Kane Hodder, who's been through the brunt of the last couple of Friday the 13th movies, which were not that great, but he's a hell of a Jason Voorhees. He was very hesitant to come onto this movie, basically saying on the Howard Stern show not too long after the movie came out that he was a little hesitant to be around about this one because of the plot for the first time. He heard the story too, but he's a trooper, man. He came in and he knew exactly, everybody else knew exactly what kind of a movie this was, and really, that's part of the charm of this movie. That trailer pretty much shows you everything that makes this movie so special. It's a movie that knows it's completely stupid, it's completely ridiculous, it's playing it up for the laughs, and it definitely shows in a lot of the scenes in this movie. I mean, this is a film that knows. This is basically the opposite of what Jason Goes to Hell was, the last Friday the 13th movie, which was basically too super serious and being this dark, grisly storyline. It's supposed to be like, no, there's no more laughs in this. Like we're supposed to go seriously. Jason's gonna go out like this. It's just like, and like, no, not this time around. This is the complete opposite of that. And boy, thank God for that, because this movie is a blast. I mean, this movie is so over the top and so cheesy. The way Jason kills people, like there's a great moment where he comes back out of the crystallization after being frozen for so long, gets up, kills one of the scientists. Now he could just kill her like he usually does with his machete, but no. We have to make this extremely over the top and ridiculous. So we're gonna put her in this vat of it's like frozen water. It's like a frozen water or something like that. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. It's not frozen water. It's liquid nitrogen. I knew that's what it was. I just couldn't figure it out off the top of my head. But no, he puts her head in this thing of liquid nitrogen, takes it out of there like he's waterboarding her, making sure it's just like, are you dead? Good. And then slams her head on the counter. It's just like, it's awesome, man. Like, this is a movie not only is this movie what Jason Goes to Hell kind of was trying to be, this is kind of the movie that Supernova was trying to be, that god-awful movie with Angela Bassett in it that had no idea which direction it wanted to go. This movie is what Supernova should have been, and this is a movie that just knows exactly what kind of a movie it is. It's over the top, it's ridiculous, it makes no sense whatsoever, and you know what? God bless it, man. It's just absolutely amazing. Like, this thing did not become the big success that it was back then. It did underperform at the box office, and I think mostly because there was just too much competition out there, and I don't know. I don't think a lot of the young kids out there were really interested in seeing another Friday the 13th movie, even though they had no idea who Jason Voorhees was. I mean, this was almost 10 years since the last movie, but then he comes back again the next year with Freddy vs. Jason, which we'll get to that one when we get to 2003, but I mean, this movie knows exactly what it is. It makes fun of the tropes. It goes over the top when it needs to. It's not afraid to be funny. It's not afraid to be completely ridiculous and stupid. And it just goes all in for it. And you know what? It works for that way. It's just something that, it just works so well. It's a very hilarious, over-the-top movie. I love it, man. I love this one. Even though I'm not a big fan of these, I'm not the biggest Friday the 13th fan. this is one of those ones that in the series, I'll watch it all the time for just how ridiculous and stupid it gets, because it gets ridiculous and stupid in all the best positive ways. It's a so bad it's good movie. I love it, man. Jason X, if you check it out and go into it knowing it's going to be a ridiculous, over-the-top movie, I think you can have a great time with it, because I know I certainly did, so that's Jason X. So let's go ahead and get to the intentional comedy of the weekend that was supposed to be very funny and very, maybe even over the top, but not really. I mean, you could put Angelina Jolie in it if you want to, but Life or Something Like It ain't it. Look, Angelina Jolie can have that blonde wig all she wants to. She can look sexy as much as she wants to. She's in a terrible movie, and this literally is a terrible movie. She stars as a news reporter who interviews the psychic homeless man played by, of all people, Monk from Monk, and also Antonio Scarpacci from Wings. Tony Shalhoub, whose name is Prophet Jack. For a fluff piece about a football game score, instead, he tells her that life has no meaning and will end in just a few days. Her life has no meaning and will end in just a few days. This sparks her to action to change the pattern of her life. So she's going to listen to this crazy guy and think that she's only got 7 days left to live. And, yeah, this is really stupid. But you see the trailer there that she gets the idea that maybe this guy's onto something because he predicted that it was going to hail before then. And it hails, and it's just like, so... I mean, there's a good idea to it here, you know, but here's the thing. We need to see Angelina Jolie be more smug and be more of an asshole to make her believe that she's ready to turn her life around, because in this movie, she's really not saying all that much. I mean, she really isn't seen much as a jerk for much of the movie. There's things that she does that are kind of like, I could see where they're coming from, but there's never a point in here where she acts like a complete asshole. So you don't really get behind her belief that she has to believe what this guy is saying, even though he's been right on 2 occasions about different things. He also predicted an earthquake that actually happens at a specific time. So I guess that's the way of figuring out that this is something true. And I guess the idea of her finding meaning in her life is dating Edward Burns, because he's the love interest in here. And yeah, it's that type of a movie. Like, you would have a good idea here if you had something to work with here, but nope, it's just a generic-ass romantic comedy, and, like, it literally is the definition of a generic-ass romantic comedy, and it's just like, you know, it's really, really stupid. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You don't even buy into the chemistry between Jolie and Burns, and, this was after Angelina Jolie won the Oscar, too, and you would think she would kind of know better, but, there was just nothing here. It just really makes no sense whatsoever why this story even makes any sense. It's just because, like, hey, we've got Angelina Jolie, we've got Edward Burns, Dr. Channing is also in here as well, Tony Shalhoub, he's an up-and-coming guy. Let's get them all together and have a movie, and make a movie. What are we making it about? Make shit up as we go along. And yeah, this is not a very good movie, and it's like, again, there's a potential there with a good message there about, you know, living your life, even though, you know, it could be like Last Holiday, which I feel like this movie's taking a lot of inspiration from. You know, The Last Holiday, the old one with Alec Guinness, and even the Queen Latifah one, which I really like the Queen Latifah one. I think that story is done much better than in this movie, but here it's just like, you can tell they're trying to do that, they're trying to make a modernized version of that, but it just can't do it, because they're not really showing that Angelina Jolie is this cynical a-hole that they're trying to make her out to be. Like, if we saw that early on, maybe we could believe more into this and why she would be going into this direction, but, like, it never really gets that way. It's almost kind of also the equivalent of something like A Two of a Kind, where, you know, that movie where John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John have to get together, or else Gene Hackman God is going to destroy the world. I mean, that's literally the plot of the movie, which is a silly movie, but a kind of fun, silly movie, too. But that was playing it up. That movie kind of knew exactly what it was trying to do. This one, not so much. I mean, the world is literally not going to come to an end if Angelina Jolie and Edward Burns don't get together when it's all said and done. And, yeah, this is really stupid. This is a really, really stupid movie. It's just, you know, it has some ideas that could potentially be very interesting, but it just can't do it in the end. It's a movie that just kind of fell apart right from the get-go. They got the people there. Unfortunately, they didn't have a good script to work off, and they just said, let's just work with what we got, and, what they got was not very good. So, life or something like it. I feel like you could find anything else better out in life or something like it besides watching this movie. Sorry for the way that I was trying to... obviously, I was trying to tie the title back in there, but life or something like it. Just avoid it like the plague. I'll just end it with that. And so with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. Now we're heading into the summer of 2002 on the next episode. And we're starting it off with a little movie about a comic book character from the Marvel Universe. Goes by the name of his secret is a kid named Peter Parker. And he becomes the superhero Spider-Man. And this is a movie where you've got the director of Darkman and The Evil Dead. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but we'll take a look at it next time. And we'll also take a look at Deuces Wild, which has Stephen Dorff, Drea De Matteo, and Frankie Muniz, which is, I guess, trying to be like a new modernized gangster film. And Woody Allen has a new film coming out this next week, and that is Hollywood Ending. So we'll take a look at all three of those movies. I'm sure none of them will have any big significant impacts on movies going forward into the future. And, okay, I'm stretching this joke out because I think you know what I'm going with here. But we will take a look at all three of those movies on the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So, with that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.